Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Aston, and I just wanted to share with you how I made this illustration of Philip Johnson's Glass House. So I recently was away with my family, away from the city, for the end of summer holidays, and in the house that we rented, there's this big outdoor porch, so I really had room to spread out and make a big mess. And here I'm just putting down a base layer of pan pastel and also a Conté soft pastel. I've really been experimenting with soft pastels and other mixed media, seeing how they work together. I actually didn't intend on painting this, but last year for my birthday, I went to tour Philip Johnson's Glass House in Connecticut with my brother. It makes a really good day trip from New York City. And I took a lot of pictures when I was there, and one of them just came up on my, Apple will feature your old photos sometimes, and I thought, hey, that's a really great subject. So I just started working on it. This is Muse Pastel Mermaid paper that I got at Sakaido in Tokyo. And after my first pastel layer, I think I'm painting over some of it with spray fixative. I had a really old can of spray fixative, and I thought it would still work for me, but it exploded all over me, and I was able to catch some of it in the top of the spray can, and was just experimenting with using a paintbrush and the fixative because I didn't want to waste it. But I would recommend spraying it over fixing it. I did buy a brand new can. Anyhow, over this first pastel layer, I am trying to set it a bit with fixative because I'm going to go in over the top of it with other media. So I took a lot of pictures actually when I was at the glass house. It is a large piece of land that is populated with smaller buildings that serve different functions and are designed in totally different styles. And I had been wanting to visit the glass house for quite a while. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and there's a lot of Philip Johnson architecture, particularly skyscrapers, like in the downtown area. So I had always had a big curiosity about Philip Johnson, and he designed the glass house and the surrounding buildings for his personal residence that he also shared with his long-term partner. And so after I had a first layer of fixative, I go in with my Holbein Irodori artist gouache travel palettes that I made. I wish I had used some sort of a tool to paint straight lines in my initial sketch. I used a ruler and why I thought I could paint a straight line, I'm not sure. That's neither here nor there, so please pardon my wobbly lines. I'm still charmed by the final result anyway, but I just made mistake after mistake in making this. I guess it really was more experimental than anything because I'm using different media, I'm using a paper I'm not super familiar with. I'm also using fixative in between layers. And I'm also learning about perspective and how to create more depth and distance in your drawings and paintings. Not that this is super successful, but I really had to adapt while making this and try to cover up some of my mistakes or turn them into something else. Some of the placements I got wrong, and this whole lawn is the wrong color, and I painted over it too much, and the shadow is not as effective or as clear, as I hoped that it would be. I do quite like some of what's going on with the trees. And I tried to work on the picture as a whole, moving around, and not just stay stuck on any one section. Also, so different parts of the paint can dry. But I do know that I need to start working from right to left. I'm left-handed, and this is an end of day progress still. I probably worked on this for about 10 to 12 hours over several days. And this is kind of in the middle. So here in America, we're taught to do everything from left to right. And of course, if you're left-handed, that means you take your hand through everything that you just wrote or perhaps painted. So I really need to retrain myself to go from right to left, so I won't smear so much over my painting. And it's not so much painting, it's when I go in after with color pencils that really my hand is like on the paper, which isn't good because then the oils from my hand get all over my artwork. So this definitely got another fixative. I've also been playing around with fixative on top of a painted layer of gouache, so then you can keep painting and not disturb so much the under layers. So, and I didn't capture it, unfortunately, but after this painting, I told myself I needed to stop because I thought I was just screwing it up all the time. I did go in with color pencil, and I didn't get that on film, but here's just a close-up of some of the things that are successful. I really like some of what's going on with the trees, the different colors in the bark, and the different depths in the leaves, and especially these small, fainter branches with less leaves. I put in some of the furniture, not all of it, and I think that was really helpful. The iconic kitchen and statue and the dining room area. This is just a hint at one of the big leather lounges, and the houseplant and tall lamp. And inside this cylinder, if you go and visit the house, is like a really fun bathroom. This is the final result. It's not perfect, but I do like it. And thank you so much for watching.